From the business, the boys in blue should require their advice. Please feel free to approach either Ivan, Daniel, Sherry, Ilya, and of course Mr. Vally Razko, who no doubt you've had the great opportunity of becoming acquainted with throughout the marketing campaign. Buyers, let me share with you the following announcements which you in place to have you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules, and any additional options that were made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer, and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in 60 to 90 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything's in there, everything's quite clear. What a special offering we have for your consideration and competition here today. A great opportunity for any first home buyer, a great opportunity for you and your family to move into this growing family location. If you look up and down Garrong Avenue, you'll notice some very house-proud owners in the surrounding streets, and for very good reason. We've got absolutely everything at our fingertips, all the infrastructure, not only that exists now, but also the infrastructure that continues to build and build and build. And as it builds, so does capital growth. So great opportunity to get in at the bottom and ride that wave of capital growth and secure you and your family's future. And when we consider how close we are to shopping, schools, parkland littered throughout the surrounding streets, and the Hume Freeway just a stone's throw away, you see what impact that infrastructure has on value. And then you consider the quality of the home we have on offer here today. A nice open floor plan, a free-flowing floor plan with formal living up the front, huge informal living out the back, that beautiful luxurious kitchen flowing into, of course, that great alfresco area, perfect for entertaining or relaxing. It ticks absolutely every single box, and you can buy with confidence today, knowing that you're buying in a quality location and you're buying a quality home. Only 12 months old, so great opportunity for you to get into the market in style. You've got that opportunity now, buyers. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for 110 Garrong? Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call, buyers. I'm in your hands. Start me where you like. Where can I see a start? Surely you're not here at 4:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday in this seat just watching me do an auction. I tell you what, I'd be very flattered if that was the case. But I'm sure the draw card here is the home and not me. So you've got the opportunity to own it now, buyers. You've got the opportunity to start from a position of strength, to show your strength, to mark your territory and stake your claim, and to show every other potential buyer here that the keys.
700.
A little bit light on, but I'll take your bid at 700, and I'll place a vendor bid on top at 775, and I'll ask you to round me off to 800 if you like. So at 775, my bid against yours at 775 now. At 775,000, I wish you the best of luck here today. 775 the bid, and looking for 800 in the rise. At 775,000 now, looking for 8. At 800,000 now, got at 800,000 even money. There's the competition now, sir. At 800,000, it's not me anymore. At 800,000, there's the competition, the opportunity with you. Can I say 825 in the rise now? At 800,000 I have. At 800 the bid. At 800,000 even money, fairly been offered there at 8. Got to be 8 1/4 in the rise. At 800,000, once at 800,000 are we done? At 800,000 for the second call. At 800 the bid, looking for 825 in the rise. Got to be 25. At 800,000 for the third and final call. 815, why not? At 815, last auction of the day. I've got a bit of time up my sleeve, happy to spend it with you. At 815 and the bid's there. At 815,000, bid there now, back against you. The same courtesy at 15 if you like. At 815 the bid there, make it 30 in the rise. At 815,000. I'm not taking 20 at this stage, not taking 5 at this stage, sir. At 815,000, bids there, make it 15 in the rise. At 815 the bid, first call at 815,000, all done. At 815,000, second call at 815 the bid, done, finished. Third, final call, 815,000, all done, finished. Silent out at 830 now, and a vendor bid with me at 830, back against you, sir. Have to move things along at 830,000. At 830,000, bids against you at 830. At 830,000 now, at 830 the bid. At 830,000, once at 830 are we done. At 830,000, second call at 830, done, finished. Third, final call, 830 the bid, all done. I'm not taking 5. I'm happy to shorten my stride, sir, and take 10 though in the rise. Can I say 40 at 830,000? 40 will put you back on top at 830 the bid. At 830,000 once. At 830, second call at 830,000. Third and final call.
75.
I'll come back to you on that, sir, at 830,000, taking 10 at this stage. At 830,000, third and final call, 830 the bid, looking for 10 on top, make it 840, show the competition you're here to buy. At $830,000 the bid once, at 830 twice. Third at 40, welcome back at 840,000. At 840, the same courtesy to every other buyer here today. 10 at 840 the bid, and the bid's here now at 840,000. At 840,000, I'm sure you'd agree it's worth that every day of the week, sir. At 840 the bid now at 840,000. At 840,000, there's the bid against your bid, sir. At 840,000 bids there. Have they done enough to knock you out? At 840,000, fairly been offered. Thank you for your bidding here today. At 840,000, fairly been offered now. Once at 840 the bid, all done. Second call at 840, done and finished. Third and final call, 840 the bid, all done, all finished, all silent and out at 840. Can I confirm that bid at 840,000? Bear with me one moment, I do need to seek some instructions. I'll be back momentarily, thank you. Well, buyers, thank you for your patience at 840,000. The bid's with you. I can confirm that we have had a reduction in the reserve price in the bid to meet the market here today. We're not quite there just yet. We are closer though. However, if there's no further bidding here today, my instructions are absolutely clear. We are to deal only with the highest bidder. That means by law, the highest bidder will receive the first, the exclusive and the only right to purchase the property at the vendor's reserve price and negotiate with the vendor at that level. And what that means for any other interested party here today is that once the highest bidder retains that right, we cannot entertain your interest and we cannot entertain your offers. We can only entertain those of the highest bidder. They will have the exclusive opportunity to negotiate with the vendor at that reserve price to the exclusion of every other buyer here today. So if you have indeed come to buy, I must see your interest now by bidding. Otherwise, we will only deal with the highest bidder. We cannot deal with your interest after the auction. So at 840,000, the bid's here. The rights to negotiate exclusively with the vendor are here. If you've come to buy, show me now. Put yourself in the box seat at $840,000 the bid. For the first call at 840, are we done? Second call at 840,000, done. Finished. For the third And final call at $840,000 the bid. All done, all finished, all silent out at 840. Just confirming, sir, that I have your best and you're happy with me to deal only with the highest bidder. If you are considering it and you want to make an offer after the auction, I can't consider at that point at 45 and welcome back at 45, and they've got the rights at 45 at 845,000. At 845,000, the bids there, they're in the box seat at 45 at 845,000. As I said, if you're here to buy, you have to be the highest bidder to earn the right to negotiate with the vendor. The rights are there as it stands at 845. You almost had them at 845,000, and I'll take 5,000 if it helps make it 50 in the rise. At 845,000, my instructions remain clear to deal only with the highest bidder. I won't be going back inside at that level. At 845, we'll pass the property in and deal with the highest bidder right at that level now at 845,000. First call at 845, done. Second call at 845, the bid, done and finished. Third, final call at 845,000. At 46, at 846, at 846,000, at 846, and the bid's here now at 846,000. Got the rights for 1,000 at 846. The bid at 846,000, fairly been offered now. Only dealing with the highest bidder, as I said, at 846. The bid once at 846, at 846,000, twice at 846. Third and final call, 846. The bid, all done, finished, silent and out at 846,000. So you're happy for me to deal only with the highest bidder at that level? Thank you again for your participation here today. At 846,000 buyers, my instructions are clear. Congratulations to the highest bidder. You've earned the right to negotiate on an exclusive basis with the vendors. We wish you the very best of luck here today. We'll be here for another 5 to 10 minutes. If you do have any questions for myself,